The hum was wrong. Not silent, no, never truly silent on a Greyhound, but wrong. Like the massive engine was choking on something thick and unseen, a slow, viscous whisper dragged from the gut of the beast. Ashley Morrison, a psychiatric nurse by trade and habit, had trained herself to notice the subtle distortions in the everyday. She never slept on buses, a lingering echo from too many graveyard shifts. And tonight, November 8th, 2023, on Route 1137 through the Black Heart of Montana, that habit was a curse. Her phone screen glowed, a cold digital comfort against the pressing darkness beyond the window. 02:43 a.m. Then she saw it, not through the glass, but within the stale, recycled air of the cabin. A silent, dreadful choreography. Every passenger, all 19 souls on this rolling coffin, was breathing in perfect, horrifying sync. Chests rose, then fell, a single rhythmic undulation that swept through the bus like a wave. In, out, a grotesque collective organism. Even Marcus Webb, the driver, sat rigid, his hands fixed at 10 and 2, his back a sentinel. Yet his shoulders too moved with that uncanny rhythm. Ashley, without thinking, held her breath, a desperate, futile attempt to break the pattern. But when she exhaled, it was with them. Her lungs obeyed an unseen conductor, her own body betraying her. The chill that seeped into her bones now felt less like the frigid Montana night and more like a cold presence settling deep within the bus. 30 seconds later, the first voice broke the spell, or perhaps began it. From seat 4C, a man she hadn't noticed before spoke. His voice was flat, devoid of inflection, yet it resonated with an unnatural command. "We need to get off." Then, from 9B, a woman echoed him, her words an unthinking response. "At mile 47. A third, from the back, a whisper that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "All of us." Ashley's mouth opened. Words, heavy and foreign, climbed from her throat, words she didn't choose, didn't want. "Yes, all of us, now." Her legs moved, not a conscious decision, but a puppet's sudden jerk. She was standing. All of them were standing. Like iron filings drawn by an invisible magnet, they faced the rear exit. Marcus Webb, his eyes fixed on the empty highway ahead, never flinched. He just drove. 73 miles per hour, the bus a hurtling bullet through the relentless dark. She checked her phone again. 02:44 a.m. A man in 3A held his up. "I have 02:52 a.m. A woman in 11D chimed. "Mine says 02:38 a.m. 6 different times, all confirmed by cell towers, by carrier logs, by everything rational. All true, all impossible. Someone tried 911. The call connected, but the voice that answered, a low, dead drone, was Marcus Webb's. The driver, silent, ahead, already dead, yet somehow speaking to them through the phone. The air grew heavy, like a shroud. A passenger, driven by some instinct or command, pulled the emergency exit release. The mechanism clicked with an eerie softness. No alarm shrieked. No rush of freezing air buffeted them. The rear door simply opened. Outside the windows, the world screamed past at 73 miles per hour, blur of black trees, the endless, unforgiving highway. But through the open door, a stark, mind-bending contradiction. The pavement beneath them moved at a gentle walking pace, 4 miles per hour at most. A trick of the light? A hallucination? No, both were true. Both were impossible. A cold dread, more profound than any fear she had known, slithered into Ashley's gut. She fumbled for her overnight bag. Inside, she found a heavy wool coat, hiking boots in her exact size, a compass with no markings, and a photograph. It was her, standing in snow. The timestamp on the back, November 8th, 2023, 03:17 a.m., 32 minutes into a future that hadn't happened. Then, at precisely 02:45:00 a.m., the bus itself seemed to breathe. And from Marcus Webb, whose lips remained locked, jaw stiff with the rigor mortis that would later be confirmed, came a voice that filled every corner of the bus, vibrating not in the air, but in their very bones. Mile 47, exit now. And every passenger moved. The woman in sandals went first. Her bare feet impossibly stepped onto the slow-crawling pavement. She took 3 steps, looked back, a strange, serene wave. Then she was gone. Not walked away, gone. Vanished between one flicker of the eye and the next, but Ashley could still see her. Through the trees, a quarter mile into the impenetrable forest, walking. Impossible distance. 3 seconds elapsed. Passenger 2, gone, but visible. Half a mile out. Passenger 3, gone, visible. A mile into the woods. 10 seconds total elapsed. Ashley's legs, without her will, began to move. She was screaming, a silent, guttural sound trapped somewhere between her lungs and the suffocating air of the bus. Her voice wasn't hers. Her body wasn't hers. The man from 4C, the one who spoke first, lunged, his face contorted in a desperate plea. "Don't let it take you!" He grabbed for her arm, but his hand simply passed through her. Not like a ghost, not ethereal. His solid flesh occupied the exact same space as her solid arm. 2 realities, 1 impossible contact. At 02:45:37 a.m., Ashley Morrison stepped out of Greyhound Route 1137. The last thing she remembered was the silence of the forest. The trees swayed in a wind she couldn't feel, a breeze that stirred branches but left her hair undisturbed. Ahead of her, the other passengers walked, single file, their silhouettes fading into the deepening gloom. They were walking towards something that looked like a rest stop. But the rest stop wasn't getting closer. It was growing, getting larger, expansive. Like she was shrinking, or it was unfurling, or the very concept of distance had simply ceased to function. State Patrol found the bus at Garrison Rest Stop at 03:17 a.m. Marcus Webb, stone dead, still behind the wheel. 17 passengers sat rigid, unresponsive, eyes fixed, their breathing shallow, their core temperatures unnaturally low despite the bus's heat. Ashley Morrison and Connor Drake were gone. But the bus, according to the security footage from Billings, had never left the station. It sat there at 01:15 a.m. departure and still at 03:17 a.m. discovery. 2 buses, in 2 places, simultaneously, for an hour and 42 minutes. Forensics found high-altitude mountain soil, soil that shouldn't exist below 7,200 feet, embedded in the carpet. Blood on seats 7A and 12B, O negative, matching Ashley Morrison's DNA, but her medical records scream A positive. Marcus Webb, dead for 6 hours, yet his tissues showed metabolic activity until 03:17 a.m. A heart stopped, a brain continued. 14 of the recovered passengers remembered nothing, a normal trip. 3 remembered everything. Their accounts identical, chillingly precise, verified true by polygraph and brain scan, yet absolutely impossible according to all measurable reality. Dr. Sarah Chen, FBI, whispered off record. Either reality is broken or we're measuring the wrong reality. It is a pattern now. Route 1137, mile marker 47. Always 02:45 a.m. Always Thursday night into Friday morning. Every 28 months. Escalating. Next predicted occurrence, March 8th, 2026. Drivers know. They call in sick. They swap shifts. They quit. They know not to look, not to respond, not to stop. And if the doors open anyway, if the impossible pavement crawls beneath them, don't follow. Route 1137 still operates, but every Thursday night, the buses are marked out of service. Ashley Morrison, the psychiatric nurse, was spotted again on October 12, 2024, 93 days ago. Seat 7A. She boarded in Billings, destination Missoula. The bus arrived. She wasn't on it, but she was already there. Standing at Missoula Station 3 hours early, no memory of the trip, no ticket stub. The 17 recovered passengers, their hearts now mimic Marcus Webb's fatal arrhythmia. 3 have aged 4 years in 3 months. All carry the mountain soil, impossible to wash from their pores. All share the same nightmare, walking through an endless forest toward an expanding structure, unable to stop. They wake at 02:45 a.m. every night. Their phones show times that shimmer and shift, photos bearing timestamps from the future. If consciousness creates observed reality, and 19 people simultaneously observe a different reality, which is true? Maybe both, maybe neither. Maybe they're stuck observing the bus trip that should have happened, and we're stuck in the one that did. And at mile marker 47, those realities overlap. How long has it been? The footage from inside the forest continues, live, real time. For 81 days straight, 19 figures are still trying to exit the bus, still standing, still walking toward the door. Have you ever traveled overnight? Have you felt time skip, looked at your phone and the time made no sense? Check your photos. Look at night trips. Check the timestamps. Compare them to your memory. Do they match? Have you ever woken up on a bus and everyone was sleeping in the same position, breathing the same rhythm? Have you ever counted passengers twice and gotten different numbers? What if you've experienced this? What if you exited that bus? What if you're still walking toward mile marker 47 and this, right now, this is the memory you're creating while your body walks through that forest? Route 89 in Wyoming shows the same pattern. Mile marker 34, 03:17 a.m. Route 40 in Nevada. Mile marker 103, 04:22 a.m. It's spreading. 7 routes now, 14 next month. 12 passengers on that Wyoming bus are still walking for 6 years. So, if you're ever on Route 1137 between Billings and Missoula, and at 02:44 a.m. you feel the urge to stand, don't. Don't look at other passengers. Don't check if they're standing. Don't move toward the door. Because if you exit at mile marker 47, you're not getting off the bus. You're walking towards something that looks like a rest stop, but grows instead of getting closer. And then you're not a passenger anymore. You're still walking. Just like Ashley Morrison, just like Connor Drake, just like the 73 others across 7 states, just like maybe you already are.